Well, there we go. We are live, and look at that. I can enter big full screen rates.
Dang.
So, folks, we are live. Welcome to Gamers Health. I am half of your hosts with the mostest.
Yes, and I'm the extra most bestest.
Extra most bestest and the host with the mostest.
I'm Rach.
And I'm Eric. Usually, if you're watching me on this channel, it's like, I'm Tenka. But when we talk to you on Gamers Health, we're talking to you not as gamers per se, but we're talking to you as friends that go through a lot of life's challenges, like we all do. You know, and we want to make sure that we're making that connection with you all. So, as is usual, we're gonna. It's one of those weird recaps. Do we have any doctor's appointments?
I don't think so. It was a short. It was one of those weeks where we didn't.
Yeah.
My next one is on Tuesday, so
We're not totally out of the woods yet. Well, you're never out of the woods. Listen, folks, once you hit like 50, 55, you're going to be looking at retirement just so you can keep up with your doctor's appointments. Just speaking from experience.
Yes.
Roger, good to see you.
Hello.
So I think, listen, we've been working on our, I want to say alcometer.
We've been using the Lumen.
The Lumen.
So we've developed that as a consistent behavior to breathalyze ourselves when we wake up in the morning.
Not for alcohol, though, folks.
Not for alcohol.
Don't get all excited.
But I guess for ketone.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
I guess that might be what it seems to be measuring.
It rates you on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being the most fat burn. 3 being like an even fat burn.
Yeah.
And 5 being that you're burning carbs. Ed, good to see you. The disorganized video. So I did a video earlier today about organized play and disorganized play because there's some of that going on. Monsieur Blood was.
Wow.
Welcome, good to see you. I'll be seeing. I believe I'll be seeing Bloodworth at Page next week.
Oh, cool!
So it'll be a lot of fun, and I'll get my first official Philadelphia cheesesteak.
I don't know. Are they really going to be the Philly cheesesteak?
I think every cheesesteak
within a certain radius, it's all Philadelphia.
I think it's all. I think they have standards they have to meet.
Because I think we're probably like 50 minutes outside of Philly.
I know, but I think you still kind of got to meet those cheesesteak standards. When I was still working, my last partner, Marissa, she would on occasions, when she swung out for her 2 days, take a day trip to Philadelphia just to get a cheesesteak. Literally stay in Philly for about an hour before turning it back. So God bless her. I don't know if she still makes those trips. She's close to retirement now, finally. But God bless. So Thursday night is going to be a cheesesteak night.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we got you a gold badge, right? So you get to hang out with all the cool kids.
So that I don't have to pay for my cheesesteak?
You get to hang out with all the cool kids, all the specials.
Oh.
all the specials. Ed, RE Health, remember what I said about carbs to protein ratio. As long as there's more meat than bread, you should be fine. And honestly, it's like, again, folks, I'm always checking out my blood sugar.
Oh, that's great. We have a sort of a dietitian kind of.
Yeah. So awesome. I'm always checking my blood sugar. So, and for breakfast, usually I cook. I make usually no huge menu here. It's usually one egg scrambled, but then like kind of like fried like an omelet. So I can put salsa and cheese on the inside, maybe some fresh green onions, uh, or maybe I'll fry up some peppers and onions if I got them in the freezer. I'll just heat them up a little bit. And it's one egg, little cheese, and then low carb bread. Oh, and bacon or sausage. Turkey bacon, turkey sausage. Because not that I wouldn't eat the other stuff, but Rachel's, one of those that avoids red meat. Not totally. Yeah.
I will definitely enjoy a cheesesteak. And
a daily cheesesteak.
I don't know about daily, but at least one.
All right, a daily drink while you're in Philadelphia.
Well,
yeah,
one for 3 days. It's a 3-drink max. And the reason why I do this is because research has shown 2 things that can lead to cancer,
or
increase your risk of cancer and recurrence and stuff. So one of those things is alcohol. They say to really limit it to like under 3 drinks a week. And then red meat is another thing that was in the research more highly correlated with it. So I figure if the research sort of bears out those two things I can avoid to, try to be cancer free. And of course, we're trying to avoid more processed things and eat more
which is
whole, naturally occurring things.
Right. So Edward is a professional. I'm a professional in health with a background in senior living and hospital healthcare.
Wow.
Scratch cooking kitchens.
Wow.
So that's kind of like what he's a professional chef.
Oh.
So
interesting.
I am purely amateurish. Although I do a lot of my cooking by, I don't want to say by smell, but I kind of go with what feels right. Like if I'm making a dressing, I don't have a recipe. Besides the oil and vinegar ratio, everything else is me going.
I'll throw in anything.
I go to my little spice collection, and I go, what are we gonna go with today? And he goes, there's an entire diet based on keeping people cancer free.
Oh, I have to look in that.
Yeah, you're opening your eyes up. What?
And Eric's like, oh shit.
You're gonna make me cook all this weird ass stuff. So, so now, listen, I gotta give Rachel a lot of credit. Because this week, actually, Edward and we got together, hung out for a little bit at a neighborhood bar in Ridgewood. Man, the atmosphere is great. It would be a great place.
Sounds really cool
to do a little gaming in. Just the atmosphere alone, holy crap!
Oh, and it's physically conducive to that.
Oh yeah, there's a suit of armor in one corner,
and spatially it is.
Yes,
tables. Okay,
but a very casual feel about it. But Rach, before I was going out, she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna be home for dinner. Can you order me something from Uber Eats?" And I'm like,
something nice from Uber Eats. And it would have been like terrible.
Probably
not so nice.
Well, it would have been.
My taste buds would have been enjoying it, but nothing else.
But then, as I was getting myself, almost ready to leave, getting myself together, she's like, "Actually, you know what? Can you prep me a salad?" Because remember, we do have the Guardians, so I have fresh greens. I got a bunch of green tomatoes coming, cherry tomatoes. They're going to be both yellow and red, so I'm waiting for those.
Oh, really?
Yes, I got 2 different types, and we got peppers coming.
That's exciting. I love the idea of the peppers.
And it's like, get ready for an ingredient list based on our diet.
Oh.
But,
cool.
Listen, I harvested a bunch of greens for Rach, and we had some tomatoes. I heated up a little chicken for her. Well, I didn't heat it up. I put it. I told her how to do it. Here it is, and here's how to do it. And and we already had the dressing I made from the other night.
Yeah.
And
that was so friggin' good. I enjoy that so much. My salads with a chicken inside.
Which, by the way, when I was coming home, I was like, I was telling Rachel, listen, I think I might be making myself a salad when I get home.
All right, I said I'll start the chicken for you.
Yeah, so she started the chicken. So we ate healthy. Mm-hmm. We ate healthy, and that's the whole thing, right? It isn't like
it's always those times like when your schedule changes or something is different, and
it's making the healthier choices. Yeah. They aren't necessarily all healthy choices taken individually, but they're healthier. Ed, in his TED Talk, Can We Eat to Starve Cancer? Dr. William Lee discusses how certain foods may help inhibit cancer.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, when I was first, right after my surgery and stuff, I was like, there's this smoothie diet for cancer survivors to prevent recurrence and stuff. And so, like, they were talking about how berries and stuff, like especially blueberries.
Oh, he's talking about that nice cute.
Yes, they help with apoptosis. And so, like, apoptosis is, like, basically a cancer cell kind of destroying itself. So, like, I would drink the smoothie or, like, eat the berries, and I'd be like, oh, yeah. I could just visualize the cancer cell popping and, being annihilated, and I don't know.
Berries, cruciferous vegetables.
Yeah.
Green tea, turmeric, tomatoes, mushrooms. I am not a mushroom person. Rach knows that.
I love my mushrooms.
Dark chocolate.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Citrus fruits, apples, soy, garlic. I love cooking with garlic.
Yeah.
Garlic, if it isn't the spice of life, it is something that pulls out the flavor.
I was on a matcha tea kick for a little while. I got to get back on that because that's really good stuff for you. For that.
Watermelon. We had a homegrown watermelon this year.
Yeah.
I normally don't like store-bought watermelon. It has no flavor. My personal opinion, store-bought watermelon has little, if any, flavor. But our homegrown was damn spot on. Yeah, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, cherries, pineapples. Yes, there's so.
I love pineapple and cherry.
I mean, folks, eating healthy, you do have to be conscious about it. Like we're going to be at Page next week. Now, I'm going to throw out a name of somebody who's not going to be at Page next week, but he's Canadian, so his ability to get to cons, he'll be at Rogers Con in Central New York. I'll probably see him at North Texas. I don't think he goes to Total. Greg Gillespie. Mm-hmm. And Greg Gillespie eats keto. He eats a healthy diet at conventions, which I find to be damn near impossible.
He's got that discipline that helps him stay.
So, God bless those that can do it. Now, today, again, we had our we didn't have a single leg. Actually, we'd had today was our cheat, but because of probably the ratios and the fact that we had a 12-hour plus fast in between last night and when we had our breakfast/lunch around 12:30, 1 o'clock, we had from Lidl. I don't know if you have a Lidl around you, but we find that Lidl is great. If they have what you need, their selection isn't awesome, but if they have what you need, their prices are usually second to none. And they have breakfast sandwiches. We got their croissant sandwiches and did not spike my blood sugar.
Good.
I think it hit like 140 as a high, which is actually probably better than what I would have gotten with low-carb bread.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there is and Edward has this whole list of healthy foods, including sunflower seeds, walnuts, black beans, chickpeas.
Black beans we add to salads.
Yes.
Often. Yeah.
Kidney beans, lentils.
And I love my hummus. So.
There is a lot of stuff, but eating healthy takes planning. All right? It takes planning up front or it takes planning at that last moment. Generally speaking, you have to plan to eat healthy. You got to make your healthier decisions when you go food shopping.
Yes.
I I mean, listen, we just found, and they're expensive, but I just found protein pretzels on Amazon. So I figured we'll order it and we'll try them because, listen, I like my pretzels. Rachel likes her pretzels. They're not good for you. They're pretty much empty calories of pure, high glycemic.
Right, because it's, I guess,
carbs.
white flour too that they use.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. I mean, I've had some, I guess, more proteiny-ish pretzels in my Catalina Crunch mix, which is like a Chex mix, but it's a healthier, low carb Chex mix, and I would love to be able to say, hey, I've got the time and the energy to eat clean keto. I probably will never be purely clean keto. It's always going to be a little bit dirty. It's going to be stuff that if
well, I don't know that it's really that we do a keto lifestyle.
We do a lot of low carb.
Yeah, because like you'd have to make sure you were getting the macros.
Right.
You know, it would be under a certain number, and like with our lumen, the number of keto, carbohydrates, the number of keto, the number of carbohydrates is higher probably in a keto diet.
Oh,
but a low carb day on when the lumen tells you how to eat.
Because keto is going to put you in ketosis, and I'm not looking for that.
And I think this is too. I don't know. I feel like that might be what they're trying to measure with your breath.
I think what the lumen is trying to do is get your body into carb burning, but not necessarily ketosis.
Well,
ketosis is
in fat burning mode. That's what that means.
Well, what happens with ketosis is that you're fooling your body into the idea that there's no food coming in. So that's generally, I did the Atkins diet.
I did that too. I used to buy those strips that you peed on to make sure that you were good and that you were like fat burning, I guess.
Are you good? Are you in fat burning mode? I just peed on a strip.
No, it's dark red. Dark red, dark maroon.
Are you pregnant? Did the rabbit die?
And then like if it was just like a lighter color, I'd be like, oh shit, you know? Or it didn't turn color at all. I'd be, oh shit, you know.
So like I
ate too many.
So 25 or so years ago, when I knew a lot of people that were doing keto diets, and I worked with a sergeant that was doing a keto diet, and then he's like, "Oh, you need to go on a keto diet. You're driving me." I'm like, "Why am I going to drive you, Jack? Well, I already have a partner." No. We're going to do keto together.
Nice.
We're going to do we didn't call it keto. Atkins
it was
together.
Atkins.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how.
He would do keto for 2 weeks, and then he'd have his day off keto. And day off keto was 2 orders of steamed chicken and broccoli with white rice, eaten in one setting. Don't ask me why. And by the way, this is South Bronx Chinese food. You getting it steamed meant that you actually could see what the food looked like. So you really had to be careful where you got your food. You know, yeah. Edward says that keto is problematic in his professional opinion.
Ah, yes.
Because I have better lifestyle food plan. I can customize dietary and health needs to your likes and dislikes that are glycemically balanced. See,
wow.
That's awesome, right? And the thing is, there are people that are never going to be disciplined, right? And then there are people that could be disciplined in their diet and their exercise, and all they need is that little bit of a push, that little bit of here, I'll set down the ground rules for you, and we'll tweak them as you go along and make sure they work for you. And I think that's pretty awesome, and that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And I still remember. When I was trying, after my congestive heart failure, and I was trying to find a method of being active and eating better, and I connected to this French Canadian who seemed like he was good, but it was all about selling you game systems.
That's weird.
It was
that
very,
weird guy.
yeah, very, very weird.
Oh yeah, because it was like, I guess the
VR or whatever.
VR headsets were coming, and people were really excited about that. And,
listen, I've done VR headset. My sense of balance is not the greatest. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you want furniture broken, you might be looking at me, and maybe I can help you think. Just give me a VR headset, and we're probably halfway there to getting some good amount of furniture broken.
For demolition, huh?
Demolition. What the heck?
What happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should make it embiggen it. But I was catching up. So I had to make it small on our side so we could see.
Oh, okay.
But so now, what we wanted to talk about today is gatekeeping. And the reason why we're talking about gatekeeping is actually multifold or multifaceted, because there is some good gatekeeping. All right, there are some times, and in general, I am not a gatekeeper, right? But if there's gatekeeping of keeping troublesome people out of your community, right? If some person's a troublemaker, CHF, congestive heart failure.
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, that was my 2020. But gatekeeping can keep trouble and keep your community, whatever it is, a little bit less boisterous, right? But then there's gatekeeping because people aren't. It's almost like a purity test. It's like, so you go from, okay, this is a community about old school gaming, and we're going to talk about old school games, to, oh, well, if you play 5e, you can't be here. Oh, well, only these games count as old school gaming. And I'm going to sneeze. Oh, my gosh. Sorry. Yeah, that one snuck up on me. And I was like, here, it's coming. But, it's, for those that don't know, we're going to, I'm going to use Rachel as an example here because her example is the most recent one. So good details. Yeah. Rachel is albino, but there are different levels of albinism.
So albinism is a genetic condition that impacts people. It's one of those conditions, genetics, right? So you need two parents to create an albino child that have the albino gene, they're carriers. And so kind of interesting. I joined let me explain a little bit more about this. I'm sorry. And so basically it impacts pigment in the hair, skin, and eyes of individuals who have it. And typical presentation would be like me. I guess typical, but what it is that there are a lot of different presentations, and also different presentations that come through in different ethnicities. And so, and something too, all these factors, typically people with albinism will have like some sort of a visual deficit, but it can vary. Someone can be completely blind, someone can be legally blind like myself, and someone can also not have any disturbance to their vision, or not enough like to be legally blind or whatever. And so something that struck me this week, I had joined a ladies group of albino women who want to share like beauty tips or health, skincare, things like that. And so interestingly, when I came in, there was another lady who came in thinking, oh, maybe I'm albino because I have very fair skin and it's hard for me to find a foundation match. And,
how dare you?
Like, okay, and so, it's like, it sounds like the lady wanted to be in the group because she was like, she wants,
to understand.
Yeah, to understand and have makeup help and, to try to figure herself out. Because, it's with this type of difference, this type of continuum of colorings along albinism, it's kind of interesting. So, you want to check it out. And so she's trying to understand herself. And it was interesting because there were people in the group that really took offense to her kind of being there and sort of like, well, I'm pretty sure you're not an albino because you have dark hair and dark, dark eyebrows and whatever. And, but, her skin was very, very light. And so people were kind of asking, oh, well, do you have a visual deficit? Do you,
asking like is this like a scorecard? Like, well, hold on a second. Wait. Let's see if you're albino enough. Do you have a vision there? Wait a second. It's correctable by glasses. I don't know if you get a point
for
that
one. You're a little sauce. But no, it was kind of interesting to see how
women are. I
don't know that it's just women. I don't know, and
you're worse than gamers. My God.
I think this happens across many types of differences. Whether they be racial differences, whether they be, ability differences, just coloring differences. And so it just really struck me that, people were sort of like trying to like suss out, and be like, oh, does this person have this condition really? And why are you in here kind of thing, but meanwhile, it's a group that's open to, what if it's a mother of an albino female child or, an albino child at all that wants this kind of help to be able to take care of like their child's skin or, whatever,
Right.
And so, it just really struck me. And, some of the, conversation that, came up and that, came up for me too. It was sort of like, a lot of the difficulty that we all had at fitting in as kids, and oh, you're not disabled enough, or you're too albino, you're not enough albino, and sort of like, where do people fit in?
You're overqualified for
like
this.
It's odd because you're like, okay, well, my family is all darker than me, and so I'm the odd one because I have this coloring, and then none of them have like a visual loss. They're all carriers, but
right.
None of their pigmentation or visual acuity was disturbed. So and then then sometimes you, as part of your upbringing, a lot of intervention around it can be like wanting to link you with other people that have the condition so that you can better understand and identify with other people. And it was rare to find another one. I always felt like, holy shit, it's a gift. If there's another one around, it's like, oh, maybe I do belong in this. Like I met another one when I came into the field of social work as a graduate student. And then at some other point, I met another one and I was like, okay, this is a sign I'm in the right place. And then I always did that for other, just very maybe two other people with visual deficits or one with full on albinism. And, I was like, oh, I have to be the person too, to be able to, signify that they're in the right place and, help people, feel welcome, and feel part of, and so just an interesting thing. And so, when I was telling Eric about it, he was like, "Oh yeah, I guess the same is true in geekdom. You're too geeky because you like X, Y, or Z, or you're not geeky enough.
Or you're geeky, you like the wrong things, right?
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of this what it comes down to. Right? The essence of gatekeeping is to find people that are like-minded, right? That's and maybe gatekeeping is the wrong term for that. Like you wanted to bring a community of people together that are old school gamers. Well, and that's great, right? But do they have to be old school gamers exclusively? Can they enjoy old school games and enjoy 5e? Can they old school games and storytelling games? I mean, are you saying that there can't be other aspects to them?
Yeah.
That's like saying to somebody, you're not albino enough because you're not blind enough.
Right. And that was one thing too for me. Like growing up, I had like other kids were like fully blind, and then like I could understand like their deficit was more than mine, and that was fine and everything. But like, it's like, oh well, it was just feeling like, oh well, she doesn't really fit in because she can do. She could be in the mainstream class, or like, she can compete, in work, or, whatever the case is, and, be in that situation and maybe not experience as much of the stigma. Maybe that's part of it too. But what was interesting is that, one of the mods came on and was like, oh, you have to realize that there is a lot of diversity among folks affected by albinism, and just like diversity in any other like difference too,
right.
But it was really cool. It was like us, people being able to say like, about what they experienced, and then like being able to use the group to come and like share about certain things that you could kind of identify with.
Well,
and it's like, let the lady in there, let the lady stay in there, like, because she's just trying to like understand herself, and if we can help do that, whether she stays or goes, like, or stays in long term, like, then why can't we kindly help her understand herself?
I can tell you why. And by the way, Tom, welcome. And he's like, this is like Trekkie versus Trekker, Beatles or Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Kaninsky or Pollock. Sorry. And Ed says it's like the good fun, bad fun.
That's interesting.
Dichotomy. But it's a bit more than, I think it's a bit more than that. But I think the people that are the most arrogant, the most ferocious, the most in your face about gatekeeping are the most insecure about themselves. Because for them, their identity has been set as, it's OSR or nothing. I am an albino. You're not albino enough. You don't count. You haven't
had to go through what I had to go through, kind of thing. We all have different experiences.
They are looking to validate themselves. And again, I'm not saying that all gatekeeping is bad. If you ask me in general, should there be gatekeeping or no? And I go, all right, well, you're talking in general? I'm not a gatekeeper. However, there are certain circumstances where it makes perfect sense. I'm on a police message board. Part of the police, it's been up in a version and taken down, and it got, I don't want to say infiltrated, but it had fake officers that were part of the media that were on it, and
oh, really?
And
that's how it all.
And they were posting stuff, trying to get information and stories, but trying to be. So now it's gate kept in that you're getting in by you got to send a picture of your ID, retired or active.
Oh, okay.
And any job, any PD, law enforcement job, and there are people that are not law enforcement that have been grandfathered in or spoken for by others, but anybody can read. Anybody can go there and read the comments, read the threads, but to participate, you have to be from within that profession, pretty much speaking.
Right.
Do I agree with that? Well, yeah, I saw what was happening when we had people that were trying to manipulate threads and stories and trying to get information, and it was...
Well, yeah, there's too much dodgy stuff that people can do,
yes,
I guess, to take advantage of that situation.
Now, if you are a social group that's supposed to... and Off-Grid, yeah. Oh, thank you, Off-Grid, for becoming a member of the Tavern's Minions. I appreciate it. But if you are trying to form a community of like-minded people, sometimes you gain like-minded people by them being exposed to your ideas. All right?
Right.
So you don't want to necessarily shut off a group and just say, well, this is only for AD and D1E players and nothing else, because people have a lot more facets to that. Much more to gaming often than simply that. If you are saying a group, well, this is for albinos, and well, you know what, I would actually love to learn about it, because yes, I've learned about albinism from being with Rach, and I instinctively know many of our limitations.
Right.
But it doesn't mean I couldn't be better educated and learn more about it. And that's that whole thing that we always hear about is, well, you can be an ally for whatever the segment of society it is. That's fine. But being an ally should be a choice of your heart. Like if I wanted to, be part of this group because my wife is an albino and I want to support her, then it should be open to somebody that's that way.
Or maybe because it's not it's got a women's focus, and I feel like that's good. But like a different group yeah.
But what I'm saying is that like in society, I always hear like, well, you need to be an ally. Well, I can be an ally for interests and people that I am connected to, but you don't want me just, I'm an ally to, I don't know, East Asian longshore workers because I feel that they do a hard job and they need support. Well, maybe I know them. Maybe I've experienced them. Maybe I spent time working with them. Then that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't just. It's fine. It should be going around. Well, you need to be an ally, because you know what? There's only so much of you to go around, and I remember years ago they were doing a lot of these articles on how many real connections can you have. How many people can be in your life that you truly care about?
Right.
And it's a finite number.
Right. We only have the capacity for a certain number. That's...
Yes. So the idea that you have to embrace everybody and embrace all doesn't make much sense, obviously, but I don't like gatekeeping people out that have a legitimate interest. But you do have the people that don't have a legitimate interest that are just looking to come in and cause trouble.
Yes.
Or in the case of our law enforcement forum, I know clutch your pearls, clutch your poils. Tom, a law enforcement group forum gatekeeps. Yes, actually, it didn't used to. It used to be when it didn't used to. It was a cesspool. And when I say it was a cesspool, you know why it was a cesspool? Because there were trolls coming in to pretend to be the most racist, bigoted cops, and they weren't in law enforcement. The admins would take their time, and you realize that these people they were putting on a show to make others look bad. So then the gatekeeping happened, And those individuals no longer have a voice because they couldn't present an ID. And and then again, you throw out, sometimes with gatekeeping, you throw out the pearls along with the shells. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes that will happen.
Yeah.
Which is why I am loath to gatekeep, and that's why I'm very slow to ban somebody from a community that I'm an admin or a moderator in, because once you ban somebody, they can't correct themselves, right? They can't become a better person. And I'm not here saying I'm going to save souls, and it's not my job, man, not my job. But what I am saying is that I want people to have the opportunity to be their best self. And a lot of times people will prove that their best self sucks. I guess that's when gatekeeping.
Yeah, that's when you throw them out.
Very, very useful. Oh my God. Yes, and being an ally is a choice of the heart.
Yes.
Yes. And you shouldn't ever feel obligated. If it feels like an obligation, then it's not your heart.
Right.
Okay. If you're being pestered, and I mean, it's like being a part of any group. You should want to be in it because you feel welcome, but you should want to be in it because it adds to you.
Yes.
And if it doesn't add to your existence, then why be a part of it? It's like, as a law enforcement officer, we had a lot of organizations, fraternal organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined one, the Soyman. I joined it as a rookie. I rejoined it as a rookie sergeant, and let my memberships expire at the end of the year each time. Why? Because, yeah, I happen to be an ethnic German, but that's not how I identify myself, and that's not what I want to hang out with. And so I want to hang out with people that express similar interest to me, not just because they're German. The Irish are something totally different. That's the Irish is a whole different level. It's like I married American Irish. I want my honorary badge. Tom, being an ally means you get involved in the war. Yeah, to a large extent. And you know what?
Right, my war would become his war,
which is fine.
Yeah.
By the way, I've helped teach Rach over the years,
and just like your war would become my
right. But I've taught Rach to stop trying to get into so many wars. She's laughing.
It's the Irish.
It's the Irish. It's like I had to tell her. It's like, hey, listen, you might start it, but I'm going to be the one finishing it, and if I got to finish it, I can't afford to be taken away in cuffs. Just saying. We want to make that sound very clear. But yeah, I mean, gatekeeping has its place, but it should be lighthearted or light-handed. I should say lighthearted, light-handed.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. Unless like this is a community for active and retired CIA agents. Yes, that's a hard gatekeep.
Yeah.
Well,
it's safety.
And yes, safety. Like if you had a social group for victims of one crime or another,
yes,
you want to gatekeep that hard.
Right.
You want to,
because you don't want some perv coming into it.
Right. It's like, what's the password? Who do you know? I need 7 references. And listen. I became the admin of one of the admins of the group after one of the prior admins had a hacked account.
Oh,
and
one of those.
And let everybody and their dog into the group.
Oh.
And the amount of trolling that was going on was ridiculous. So I was asked, as an impartial third party, essentially, can you come and help us fix this? So I said, sure, if I'm going to fix this, I'm going to do it by when did this mass influx start? Everybody who came in after that date, I am booting, which is what I did. And then I said, we're no longer going to take members to this group from, random invites. Anybody who wants to come in, like the old-time social clubs. You want to be a member? I need a member to vouch for you. So somebody had to come up and say, yeah, I think that, John Smith would be a good member of this group. And then I would have the admins get together and just say, well, listen, if one person says nay, it's a nay. I don't care why. But if we all agree, let me add them. So now, if you do that stuff, is your group going to grow and leaps and bounds? No. No. It's not going to be one of the largest groups on Facebook or MeWe or any of these places.
Well, it all depends on what your goal is.
Right. But if you, since we did that, oh my God, that's been about 2 or 3 years, there has been one admin issue there. There hasn't been one post that needed to get removed. There hasn't been one person that needed to get banned, which is awesome. But then there are some groups that thrive on that. Tom, the French club in Lewiston, Maine, doesn't seem to gatekeep. I only know this because my brother dragged me there 2 decades ago for $3 or $4 pitcher of beer night. Well, listen, any place that serves alcohol just wants your money. So they're not going to worry too much. Listen, the Irish don't geek.
No.
St. Patrick's Day,
everybody's Irish.
Listen, St. Patrick's Day, the Gaelic Society of the NYPD makes their money. And how do they make their money?
They have a big party in the pier.
They have a big party in the pier. Now, here's the secret to the party at the pier. Membership is $20 a year. You pay it at the door. You get your little card. You drink a lot of beer and eat a lot of food. And then they never see you again. Because
you paid your $20 for your day out.
Right.
Yeah.
And only the true Irish, those that care about it, will show up to the monthly meetings.
Yeah.
God bless them. But I had a lot of Gaelic Society membership cards over my career. I think my last was 2016. Oh yeah, the day I retired. It was actually they do a good show, but that is obviously no gatekeeping, right? I mean, the gatekeeping is you pay your money, you go in. They don't care. Most people at a St. Patrick's Day party are Irish for the day.
Yeah,
and that's fine. Now, if you go to an Irish pub and you don't read the room right, you may be gatekept or get your ass beat.
I don't know.
I almost did. All right. So, long story short, Rach and I were dating, and we were out in the Woodlawn section of Yonkers, New York.
Yeah, it was in Yonkers.
So just over the border outside
there's a couple
city.
of streets up there, like one street in the Bronx, and then it crisscrosses with another street in Yonkers.
Yeah.
And both streets are basically pubs row.
Right.
Like many Irish pubs lined up and down the blocks. Less so now, I think, than when I was living there, but
I'm sure it's still very Irish, and at least the bars are.
Yeah.
So we're in this little pub, and there's a couple of Irish lads getting into their drinks, and then they do what I don't want to. I'm going to make a comment that somebody's going to take it. No, you're not going to take it out of context. It's the right context. They're going to do what the Irish often do: drink to excess, get mad at each other because of the county that their friend comes from, and then start beating on each other. So
what was funny was they were both Northern.
There were 3 people though, Rach. There were 3 of them. 2 of them were 5. There was a third one egging them on.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I remember this because I was almost number 4. Okay, so they're doing this, and I'm going to Rach as we're sitting at the bar. I'm like, all right, when we're gonna get the tab, and we're gonna leave. I'm like whispering to Rach because yeah, you know.
I'm like, yeah, okay, sure.
I go because this ain't gonna go right, and I was on the job. I had like I don't know. 10 years on the job, whatever it was. I'm like, I can't.
And it was just us and them.
Yes.
You know, because we were in there just to like throw some darts.
Yeah. They were throwing fists. And then this is the scariest part when there's that fight going on and things are getting knocked over is when there's silence. And there was silence because these 2 motherfuckers realized there's somebody else here with a wee lass. And my drunk who's got he's in a headlock. He's like, oi, what county are you from? And I was taught as a cop to always have a quick answer. And I was already,
this is adorable.
And I was thinking, I'm like, and you have to say it the right way for this to work, by the way. So I said, I didn't say I'm from Queens County. I said, I'm from County Queens.
County Queens.
And he's like, "Oi, where the fuck is this county?" And he's looking at his friend, County Queens? I go, yeah. I go,
and they're like, oh.
Well, no. I had to explain it. I go, it's in between County Kings and County Nassau. And then these 2 fuckers that were beating the shit out of each other start laughing their asses off. That's a fucking good one. I ain't never heard that one before. I'm like, I just want my bill. I want to get out of here before these guys start to
realize they want to hurt me.
Yes. And it's not that I can't fight, folks. It's that
you choose not to.
I don't want to get arrested.
Yes, you had a lot of.
I had a piece of jewelry on my waist that didn't need to get involved in any of this stuff. But that was actually them gatekeeping, if you think about it.
Oh,
It was, are you Irish? Because if I had said, dude, I'm not from any county. Oh, so what the fuck you doing in my place? That's where that conversation was going to go.
Right.
So, because remember, I'm the outsider to 2 guys who are probably damn good friends until they get drunk. We're beating the shit out of each other, and they can go, oh, well, now we can beat somebody else up.
And then we're good.
We're good. Yeah. But
they don't have to wait till the morning to be good.
But that was gatekeeping. That was, where are you from? Are you one of us? Or are you one of them? And thank God, humor works. Because I could have, it 2 for 1.
And that pub, I don't think it's there anymore. The Bell Run.
It's probably best. Probably just stating that for the masses. Probably.
Yeah, the Shamrock Darts League. We used to play them all the time, and it was a really fun place to be. And Friday nights always had karaoke.
This was like an early evening. No,
it was not. It was later on in the evening.
Rach, when we left, the sun hadn't set. It might have been sun.
No, it was probably 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night.
It wasn't that late. It was early-ish.
What were we doing drinking that early?
I got off work at like 6. You got off work, met you. We went out. We were going to get a few drinks and then go out to eat. And
okay. I thought it was later at night.
No, which is what really spooked me. Oh my God. All right, folks. Listen. Is gatekeeping a good thing? And I've had this argument with people like, you got to gatekeep. You certainly do.
I guess it really depends.
It's a situational thing, right? But when you gatekeep, it shouldn't just be generally speaking as simple as
a checklist.
Yeah,
I guess
you're not. Sorry, you're not blonde enough. You're not blind enough. You're not. No. That's not. It's I don't know.
You're not geeky enough.
You're not geeky enough. Wait. You might play OSC, but you also enjoy Pathfinder? Ugh, gotta cut you off right there. Now, if it was 4E, I could see that. I'm joking. I probably have more 4E material than I do 3E material. Didn't play either one. But that's besides the point. Gatekeeping is a tool. And like any tool, it can be abused.
Right.
All right. I mean, a firearm is a tool. A firearm doesn't kill people. People kill people.
Yes.
Gatekeeping is a tool to keep people literally out. You got the gate and you're closing it. You're the gatekeeper. You're the one who's exerting the influence and the power, not the gatekeeping as a term. All gatekeeping is a method. All right. Never get mad at you if somebody gate kept you. Don't be mad at the fact that you were gate kept. You be mad at the person that did it to you. If you're going to be mad at anybody. So, folks, on that note, next week, we will be at Page. I can guarantee you I won't be playing any Pathfinder Society games. Not that I would have in the first place. I don't know if they're going to have any. But Gamers Health will take place on Sunday next week. I believe that Don Samora is going to be out with me at Page. So it's quite likely you will have a live stream on Thursday and Friday from Don and I. We'll see what we can arrange. But when it comes to Saturday, debauchery? No, I mean, probably, recovery time from gaming and staying up late and eating too well and having too many cheesesteaks. And then resting up for a drive home. So a week from tomorrow will be the next Gamers Health. All right, folks. On that note, be safe.
Thank you for being with us and taking your time out.
Be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Another random ass video of what's going on in the gaming community tomorrow.